There is no sense of direction here, no solid ground to hold on to, not a single molecule of air to carry your voice, just an absolute darkness, stretching out for billions of miles in every direction. Your body feels entirely weightless, as if you're in a perpetual free fall. Yet there is no bottom waiting to catch you. It's an endless, timeless descent. The silence around you is so dense that after a while you begin to hear the sound of the blood rushing through your own veins. Your mind desperately claws for a single object, a solitary glint of light to latch onto. But the universe offers nothing but that frozen blackness. No matter how hard you scream, your voice chokes inside your own throat. What drives you mad isn't just being lost in this bottomless nothingness. It's that when you stand completely still and stare into that blackness long enough, you feel the darkness staring right back at you. Our minds survive by comparing the objects of this world to one another. A tree is large compared to a house, and a mountain is massive compared to a city. But out there, you are left with no frame of reference. Standing before those colossal planets, the very boundaries of your perception completely shatter. Toxic atmospheres reaching miles deep, gas giants with no solid ground, and silent storms swirling across surfaces. For a mind gripped by astrophobia, this scale is more than just a physical threat. It signifies the absolute erasure of your existence. You feel yourself being pulled toward it. As a massive gravitational force drags you in, there's absolutely nothing you can do. No direction to escape to. No frequency to broadcast a cry for help. To make matters worse, your senses begin to betray you in these environments. In the open void, your eyes lose the ability to judge distance. A massive celestial body you think is right beside you might actually be millions of miles away. Or the exact opposite. The loss of distance perception shatters the brain's ultimate firewall, the illusion of control. Because the moment you lose control, you're left face to face with the universe's greatest secret, a colossal mechanism that was never created for you, doesn't care about you in the slightest, and is ready to wipe you out like a speck of dust. As you sit in your safe room right now, do you know the only thing separating you from that freezing, utterly lethal void? A transparent layer of gas, just a few miles thick. That blue sky you see when you look up isn't actually a protective shield. It's merely a thin, fragile leak hanging on the edge of that freezing darkness. Up there, just beyond that razor-thin air, lies a vacuum that would boil your blood in seconds. A freezing cold that would rupture your lungs, and a radiation storm that would dissolve your bones. Space isn't somewhere far away. Space is right above us. We are incredibly fragile creatures, trying to breathe at the bottom of that bottomless, unyielding ocean, inside a tiny air bubble that could pop at any moment. And do you know what the most terrifying part is? That colossal pitch-black void outside our bubble is waiting right above us, ready to swallow us whole. The moment you step outside that air bubble, you come face to face with the true face of the solar system. This place is not the orderly, welcoming home described in textbooks. It is nothing more than a colossal silent wheel, turning relentlessly in the midst of pitch-black darkness. More than 99% of the system we live in is just absolute void. Within that freezing silence, planets drift through their orbits entirely alone, millions of miles away from one another. Everything here is like a clock wound up to wipe out human life in seconds. Step slightly closer to the sun, and you're met with radiation storms that turn everything to ash, where temperatures melt metal. Take a few steps away, and you're greeted by a darkness near absolute zero, where even time and motion freeze. There is nothing to seek shelter under, nothing to hide behind. For billions of years, these massive bodies have been spinning in that pitch darkness, endlessly and without any purpose. They are utterly unaware of your existence, your fears, or the entirety of human history. If the invisible balance holding Earth in the system were to falter even slightly, this unyielding wheel would swallow us like a speck of dust and keep turning with the exact same coldness without ever noticing. Because being alone in this system is not what's terrifying. What's truly terrifying is realizing that inside such a massive mechanism, you are completely helpless and at its mercy. The moment you leave the solar system completely behind, you find yourself dead center in that true, boundless void. Interstellar space. This is the realm of absolute nothingness stretching between star systems, so immense that the human mind cannot even begin to measure it. The purest, most inescapable face of astrophobia hides within this darkness. Because here, there isn't even a colossal planet left to fear. You're left entirely alone with the sheer fact that there is nothing. There is no ground to step on beneath you, no sky to seek shelter under above you. You turn right, it's a pitch black wall. You turn left, it's the exact same nothingness, even if you were hurtling through it at thousands of miles an hour, because absolutely nothing around you changes. You would feel as though you were suspended in the exact same spot forever. None of those faint lights staring back at you from afar offer any hope. They are mere strangers, so distant they could never hear your voice, so far away you could never reach them. Even if you scream at the top of your lungs here, that cry chokes inside your own chest. Because in this darkness, there isn't a single speck of matter to carry your voice. No matter how massive your terror, you cannot move that deafening silence outside by even a fraction of an inch. What truly chills the mind is not the sheer scale of this void. It is knowing that if you were ever left stranded in the heart of this darkness, no matter how far you traveled, the universe would never lead you anywhere. It would simply leave you there, suspended in that eternal cold. But what if even that vast interstellar emptiness is insignificant compared to the universe's darkest secret? Billions of light years away lies the Boötes Void, a colossal region hundreds of millions of light years across, where almost nothing exists. In a place where thousands of galaxies should be shining, an eerie darkness remains. If you stood at its center, you could travel for millions of years in any direction without seeing a single star. The emptiness is so extreme that if the Milky Way were located there, humanity would have only recently discovered other galaxies. But the greatest mystery isn't the darkness itself, it's why this region exists at all. There are theories about the Boötes Void that are far stranger and more unsettling than the void itself. I'm preparing a full video exploring what may be hiding behind this cosmic mystery and how this enormous emptiness came to be. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. All that immense scale, the freezing storms, and the voids stretching for millions of light years, they lose all meaning the moment you confront the universe's most unyielding reality. The point where the laws of physics break down, where time loses its direction, and where space as we know it comes to an end. Black holes. For a mind gripped by astrophobia, a black hole is not just an astronomical object. It is a bottomless, blind, and utterly indifferent void, torn into the very fabric of the universe. Once you approach that lethal boundary surrounding it, the event horizon, every path of return is already closed. No force, no engine, and no speed in the universe can save you now. Because past that threshold, outward ceases to exist as a direction. Every path, every second, leads only to that pitch black center. As you are dragged toward the core, that colossal gravitational pull begins to warp time itself. The moment of your descent, which feels like mere seconds to you, is a state of eternal frozenness to an outside observer. While the rest of the universe ages and vanishes before your eyes at an unbelievable speed, you advance relentlessly toward the singularity at the heart of that absolute darkness. That massive gravity first snaps the bonds holding your atoms together, then reduces your entire existence to a mere particle of information, trapping you inside that pitch black void. What chills you to your very core is not the violence of this destruction. It is being erased from the universe's memory completely, as if you had never existed at all. As you vanish into that darkness, the universe you left behind keeps turning with the exact same indifference. All of these colossal mechanisms, the freezing storms and the bottomless voids, are sitting right behind that very sky we look up at every single day. Space is not in some unreachable future or at inaccessible distances. That massive, chilling reality is waiting silently, just a few miles above the room you are sitting in right now. We merely continue to breathe on the shore of that bottomless ocean, inside a tiny air bubble. And now, having learned of that pitch-black void outside and the boundaries it conceals, you will never look up at that blue sky the same way again. Because now you know, that thin layer of protection above us is the only thing separating us from that freezing void.